Welcome back to the channel Spain Unlocked. My name is Anna and today we'll show you the heart, the essence of a typical coastal Spanish town, Javia. Enjoy it with us.
For all those of you who are not familiar quite much with this location, Javea is a coastal town in the Marina Alta region of Alicante on Spain's northern Costa Blanca. It lies between the Mongo Natural Park and the Mediterranean Sea. The Mongo Mountain, which is up to 750 meters high, shelters the town and contributes to its mild microclimate. The similar microclimate can be found next to Benidorm's town in Albier especially, and in some other areas of the Mediterranean. Nearby, the areas that are included are La Shara, typical small urbanizaciones, which are small locations with some houses and closed communities, even gated communities, or independent houses around. And Denia is not too far away from here. The climate in Javia is also very nice. It is actually one of the healthiest climates in Europe, with over 300 days of sunshine per year, mild winters with average 18 degrees more or less, and warm, hot summers. This appeals especially to retirees and those who are seeking calm, year-round temperature lifestyle. Overall, this is the area that mostly is beloved by international residents. And the curious thing is that around 47% of the population is foreign-born. Mostly these are residents from UK, Germany, Netherlands, France, and Scandinavia. English here is widely used in many of the businesses, followed by German and Dutch. In this area, both Spanish and Valencian are official and widely spoken. However, if you speak just Spanish, that's perfectly fine. You do not need to learn Valencian as per se, but some older generations do prefer to speak Valencian in between themselves, even though just with Spanish you'll be perfectly fine in this area. In terms of historical economy, this area was traditionally based on agriculture. That's how it started, and that's how it starts in plenty of other villages here around the Mediterranean coast, agriculture and fishing. So here it was more or less the same thing. There were many vineyards. They were drying raisins, which are called pasas in Spanish, dry raisins, wheat, olive trees, and citrus fruit. Fishing obviously was one of the main economic, stable economic parts, let's say it like this, and local mining of Tosca stone. Raisin production was an economic mainstay actually for quite a while. However, as it happened in many other parts around Javia, including Benidorm, Alicante, Altea, Villajoyosa, in the 1960s, with the opening of Parador and development of the Arenal beach area here in Javia at least, the tourism started to emerge. National tourists started to arrive, and also first international tourists started to arrive to Alicante province, which was a huge shift and never coming back for this region specifically. Today's economy actually is driven mostly for this reason as well by tourism, real estate, quite a lot. It's a very important part of the economy of this region. Hence, the construction as well, and services, which are fueled by both Spanish and international retirees and residents. In terms of job opportunities, these are mostly concentrated in hospitality, property management, seasonal tourism, and remote-friendly roles, as well as typical jobs such as inside of the hospitals, teaching, schools, banks, pharmacies, supermarkets, etc., etc. Javea is one of the most desirable, honestly, real estate markets on the whole Costa Blanca, with strong international demand due to it being close to the bigger towns and cities, not too far from Alicante or Valencia either. Fast drive by the highway, and obviously due to its special microclimate and the proximity to the sea. Hence, property prices here have nearly doubled over the last 10 years. It's not the only place where it actually happened. To be honest with you, there's way more places. There's Benidorm, Alicante, Altea, Albir, and many other coastal towns and villages that have increased their prices lately. The average price for a property purchase here is around 3,650 euros per square meter, which is high but still lower than other premium coastal areas, trust me. So an average 100 square meter apartment, which is big as per Spanish comparison, would cost around 365,000 euros. Over the past few years, the property prices have continued rising. It's around 9% increase in the last few years. A 4-bedroom villa in Javia typically costs around 500,000 euros, while a 2-bedroom apartment might be about 200,000. High-end market remains resilient thanks to limited supply and attractive lifestyle in this area. So as you can see, it is not as easy, let's say it like this. However, we'll let you know as well slightly more about the services and everything that it has. Obviously, once again, strong international community is available here in Javia. In terms of lifestyle and the services, there's a perfect balance between traditional Spanish, which is something that you can see right here. Today we are in the old town in the heart of Javia, El Pueblo. And this is how it looks like. It's traditional streets, tapas bars, local markets, typical shops, some tourism. Yes, obviously it will be the case. And then there's also the port area, which is the lovely promenade, shops, restaurants, and the fish market. And Arenal Beach part of Javia, which is the sandy beach with modern bars, nightlife, family-friendly activities. Even kiddies here in the houses nearby in the old town are just going outside and sitting by the plants and flowers. This is something that a lot of tourists are curious about. See how locals actually live. In general, Javia has plenty of services. First of all, obviously there's touristic part of it, but also there's schools, there's supermarkets, there's health centers, there's international clinics here available. The public healthcare also have a hospital here nearby. The hospital right outside Javia, plus typical local consultations for different types of specialists, physiotherapy, optics, pharmacies, banks. There's local supermarkets for fresh produce like fruit and seasonal veggies. There's bigger supermarkets that are chain supermarkets such as Lidl, Aldi, Mercadona, etc. There's schools, there's semi-private schools, private schools, and obviously public ones. And there's a local market that opens up once a week. It's on the open air. We'll show you where it is located exactly. And this area is where you can get not only fresh fruit, vegetables, clothing, accessories, plants, even flowers, or something extra like freshly baked goodies. This is some places that a lot of locals love to go once a week to stock up on healthier products and just to have a walk around and be all in one place, to maybe gather up with some friends, grab some typical churros with chocolate, and much more. Obviously, there is gyms, there is yoga, Pilates places. There is all different types of services here available for you guys. It is not a small area. There's around 30,000 people living here officially. Those who are registered, unofficially, not too sure, but might be slightly more. But those who are registered at the town hall, at least 30,000 by now, 2025. Hence, it is not a teeny tiny community. It is not a small village, which is a good part of it because you're actually able to find all services needed for a day-to-day life. Obviously, staying right here in the heart of the old town might not be for everyone because there is tourism, there's a lot of people walking around, there's museums, there's cultural areas, there is a lot of movement with tourism. And there's plenty of touristic accommodation options as well. But many people still live here up until today's day in these small, old, traditional style houses that have always been here. Other options would be apartments right here in the city center of Javia or slightly around it. Look at this. Even unique door handles. This is something that only in authentic Spanish areas you will find. These are not found in modern parts of today's cities. So if you're looking for some charm, this would be one of the nice places to visit and relocate to. Obviously, there's also banks, there's all different types of services, shopping that you might need around the area. Nearby, there's also independent houses, villas, or semi-detached, detached housing. We'll talk about it in a bit when we will show you the property. But there is a wide variety of options, from seafront apartments to luxury villas with sea view, old townhouses, and much more. This area is specifically popular among retirees, families, and digital nomads. Also, property prices here obviously are slightly higher than the average in the Costa Blanca, but it reflects a high demand of this specific region. Why so many people choose it? Well, first of all, because there's stunning beaches and coves here in the area. There's a mix of Spanish tradition and cosmopolitan lifestyle, and you will not be the only ones that are coming from abroad, which helps a little bit to integrate into the community. This area is safe, it is peaceful, and it is quite international. It is ideal and excellent for families, anyone looking for a relaxed Mediterranean life, really. So this is the reason why so many people actually choose it. And now let's talk about the properties. What are the real examples of pricing and what you could get from cheapest options to the most expensive ones? First of all, let's talk about property purchase. This is the cheapest thing you can get, 155,000 euros, 3 bedrooms, 97 square meters. This is an apartment in the center of the city. It is quite an old building. However, it is something that you might be able to purchase. If you want to reform a little bit and change a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Next one is a studio, fully refurbished one with garage included, 40 square meters, first floor exterior with an elevator. Parking is a great thing if it's included, the garage specifically. And it costs the same as the previous apartment, but it's a studio. However, the price remains the same because even if it's smaller, it is fully refurbished. Next example would be this one bedroom apartment, 35 square meters. You could start finding one bedroom apartments from 169,000 euros in this specific area. A spacious sunny terrace as well. Next would be a slightly bigger apartment, 2 bedroom, 87 square meters, 174,500 euros, situated on the first floor with elevator in the center of the village. As you can see, very close to where we are right now. Attics, Fully refurbished one bedroom, 52 square meters, 6th floor with elevator, 175,000 euros. Obviously, there's also properties for 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. These are bigger, mostly with sea views, spectacular ones with open terrace. This one here is an example. It's a duplex, 2 bedrooms, 70 square meters. It has spectacular sea view, which is why its price is slightly higher, 210,000 euros. Even so, it's a very good price for this area. It would be considered one of the cheaper options, honestly, of the properties available here. And it's a duplex, which is like a 2-story apartment, which is also a great option. It feels like you are living in an independent house, but at the same time, it's an apartment building. Let's continue with some more options in this case for you in terms of houses. Houses here cost from 173,000 euros. This is a 3-bedroom house, 254 square meters. It is cheap because it is called nuda propiedad. This means that you purchase it, but you're not able to actually own it and move in up until the current owners will pass away. Only once this happens, you are actually able to change the paperwork and become the legal owners of the house. You have to let them live inside of this house up until their last days. This is why it is so cheap, because it is like a longer term investment for you to get a cheap property, but only if you do not need it right now. Next option, 190,000 euros, will be a 4-bedroom house, 136 square meters. This is a house that needs to be refurbished completely, which once again is why the price is so low. Place that doesn't have to be refurbished, 239,000 euros, 2 bedrooms, 70 square meters. Lovely area. Next one is 240,000 euros. It's a semi-detached house, 2 bedrooms, 107 square meters. This is like a bungalow, more or less, recently refurbished. Next on the line, 298,000 euros, already very, very new, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 72 square meters house. Brand new, almost to move in. The independent house costs here around 349,000 euros, 2 bedrooms, 95 square meters, fully independent with lovely, lovely gardens, which actually is very nice. With a swimming pool, a house would cost you, independent one, 362,000 euros, more or less, 2 bedrooms, 99 square meters. Right behind us is where we actually have the local market that is held here once a week. A typical open air market, as we've mentioned, where people do gather groceries and everyday produce that they use to cook at home, with an exception of meat and fish, which is usually bought in other places because you cannot sell these on the open air market. Let's continue with rentals now. For how much would you be able to rent a property here? And the truth is that there's plenty of properties that are only available for holidays or from September to June. This would be one of them. This is a studio, 550 euros a month. Quite small one, 28 square meters, and this is only for professors, for those who are working in school, and it's not available a whole year long, only from September till June, which is the biggest problem of this area unless you want to pay quite a bit or purchase a property. The all other options that are a yearly one already surpass 1,000 euros limit. This is for you to see what the situation actually is. But still, the price is good for the quality of life that is here. 1,000 euros, you could get an apartment of 2 bedrooms, 65 square meters, with a swimming pool, tennis court, and some bars inside of the apartment building, as per se, the closed gated community, so it's not bad. And 1,000 euros nowadays in a touristic area, in a very good area to live in terms of quality of life, is what the apartment, usual and typical apartment of 2 bedrooms, actually costs. Continuing after this one, we have also a slightly bigger apartments, different ones, that do cost starting from 1,100 euros already. And now it is summer, so there's way less options. Hopefully by winter, there's going to be slightly more. 1,100 euros a month, 1 bedroom, 60 square meters apartment, but this is with garage included and sea view, which is why it has this price. It depends on the area, depends on if it has sea view or not, and if it includes garage or not, if there's a swimming pool inside of the community or it's not the case. So the price varies quite a lot from one property to the other, depending on what it offers. This is an example of a 3-bedroom apartment, 132 square meters, 3rd floor with elevator, 2 bathrooms, 1,100 euros a month. And from here onwards, property prices do increase slightly more. And villas here do cost more than 1,500 euros a month if it's for a long-term annual rentals.
Thank you for accompanying us in today's video from the beautiful old town and typical city center here in Javia. We hope you enjoyed today's video, and maybe this will be your future destination for a relocation in Spain, Costa Blanca. We'll see you in a brand new video here on the channel very soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you're still not. Bye.